Hello guys, Lux Angus here. So, today is the next episode of Drakonian Emanations, Initiations part. I don't know anymore really, because I have made a big pause in between, because I know now that initiation and initiatory happenings or initiatory journeys and circumstances and self-inner transformation doesn't really, like, they do happen daily on a constant basis, but the transformations, like, it depends, amounts every day a little, and over the course of time you look back, and then you then only see how much you have changed and evolved as a person. And as for me, as of right now, I have pretty much changed and evolved as a person. And what matter, like, this Drakonian Emanations initiation is based on a Kabbalistic tree of life, and it is like alternative version of like the traditional Sephirotic tree of life, only without these angels and all these god beings of the more Abrahamic faith, if you know what I mean. And like, I am right now on a second sphere of this initiation, and I've learned that you shouldn't do this on a daily basis. Like, you shouldn't do initiatory rites on a daily basis. Only, like, you do it only if you have called, like, if your higher self, your daemon, or your inner core of being, your soul, is telling you you should do this on daily basis, then you should do this on daily basis. That this will particularly help you in this case of evolution, you know. And like, I was so obsessed of doing my spiritual practice daily. Like, I am like, when I love things, be it person, be it myself, be it my hobbies, I obsess about it. Like, I really do it on a daily basis with discipline, with like a joy, you know, like if you're doing like a work that doesn't really fulfill you on a time, you need some type of discipline and willpower to do this on a daily basis, if you know what I mean. And I do this on a daily basis, but this time with passion, you know. And I did the first initiation on a daily damn basis, a whole month. And this has not always a positive effect on you, especially if this is like more a darker, more alternative version of Kabbalistic initiation. What I personally have experienced doing this on a daily basis is sickness, like really physical sickness. I felt really sick, weak, in a chaotic state all this time. And when I finished this month, I really felt different. I really felt like I must stop for a while, you know. I lied down in my bed nearly for 5 days straight. Like, I really didn't do anything. Like, of course I eat, I drink, and watch some shit on the phone, you know. But like, this was it. Like, when I have time, and I have like when I had my holidays, so to say, I didn't do much. I really didn't do much, because I felt so empty, you know. And that's like when I have studied all these informations more properly, then like, then I came like to the realization, this shit you don't do daily, man. Bah. But well, I'm now a better evolved magician because of that, and I don't do this anymore on a daily basis. At least the initiation and stuff, you know. Like, if this is like a Sephirotic initiation, because angels, more the celestial, more the solar beings, of course, you shouldn't underestimate it. But they are more like the lighter side. They are not like these dark, powerful beings. They're more the lighter side. They're more of serving. They're more of like being like of God, you know, like the god of creation, who created this whole multiverse of our society and the structure. Like, they're more a lighter form of energies. They're like not that, like, I would say, not that hard to work with, because demons have a will on their own. They are more darker, they are more challenging, you know, by nature, and like it is not fun to wrestle every day, you know, with any shit, you know. And of course it is not every day that you wrestle with a demon, be it you called one upon, and be it like a chemical self-transformation. It's really a type of mixture of fighting with yourself, fighting with the outer forces. But at the end, like, in the end, if you win, if you lose, doesn't matter. At the end of it, if you're a conscious being and you are pursuing this stuff with intent to evolve and to get strong out of it, you only win at the end of the day, you know. Even if you lose, and even like better is if you win. But even if you lose, like for me, example, like I just was for some weeks straight just a lazy sack of potato, you know. Because I overdone it, and then you need time to rest, then you need time to recuperate. And I just literally stopped giving a fuck about many things, you know, many things. Like, I know for sure, because of my own being, because of my own programs, and because of my own perception, at least for now, that I can't post online YouTube stuff, you know. I can do it for now, and I won't, because I know the quality, be it like from myself, from my experience, will not be like fundamentally changed, you know. And I want to be here if like really something fundamentally big happened, you know. And as of right now, I'm initiating into the sphere of the moon. The moon is associated with like the feminine, with magnetism, with magic, with illusion, and in Kabbalistic tree with the number 9, violet, like vampirism, I've also already told, intuition, creativity. Like moon is associated with this, and also like fantasy, like creativity, fantasy, yeah, and like making things in your imagination and such real, or like being more open, being more receptive to the more spiritual spheres and dimensions around you and behind you. And it was like a crazy experience. Like, I decided to pick up my phone and do a new video because I had literally a crazy experience right now. Like, you must know, especially good produced movies. Good produced movies is literally magic. It's literally a occult technology that is higher ups in Hollywood or any higher production uses for their own spiritual power and benefit, you know. And you can also benefit from it also if you know the symbolism, the correlations between the symbolism and the Kabbalistic tree. Also not the Sephirotic Kabbalistic tree, but also like the clipotic tree, like the darker side, or like the underside, the ground, the root system of the Sephirotic tree of life, the backside of the Kabbalistic tree, like it's also like some type of clipboard, but there's more like the tunnels of Set, I think. And what I have heard, like the clipboard on its own have also like a darker, no, much more a darker side to it. Like this is a multi-layered ancient initiatory system, this Kabbalistic tree of life. It is not only light, it is also darkness and some things in between, everything from it, you know. And like for me right now, when I was on the earth, when I initiated more in the earth sphere, I was pretty much grounded, slow, earthed, sick, slowed down, because like, of course, because of my own overdoing it, but because of its nature, no? Because earth at the end of this whole initiatory journey is like the crystallization of all the things that you've been through, you know, the manifestation on earth, your spiritual alchemical self-working, you know. And like I have done it, but there were no big spiritual happenings, so to say. I didn't, like, my spiritual senses were not opened that much, or like were not that much aligned with spiritual abilities, you know. It was more really like earthy stuff, you know, more desires and such. And since I have been through the moon, I think my spiritual senses, like my intuition, like what I have told you, like they have opened up. And why I've brought up a movie, because movies, especially good produced movies, are being watched by many thousands, 100,000 millions of people, you know. And because this symbolism that they put in movies, because this spiritual occult symbolism has been used by powerful magicians, by powerful sorcerers, occultists, they have been like, their meanings, their symbolism, their correlations has been powered up on the astral, or like the spiritual dimension. What that essentially means is, even if you are aware of the symbolism or not, they will have an effect on you, on your consciousness. Because first of all, we all are like in connection with each other, with everything. And second of all, we all have a subconscious and unconscious. Third of all, we have a soul. And 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 fourth of all is like, by repetition, or like giving your attention away to certain things, they are beginning to be more real. Like they are beginning to manifest themselves into actual reality, you know, into the actual earth, into this physical world. And this movie, but like I have watched, I don't know how it is called. I don't know which name it was. I think I will link down there the name of the movie, or mention it. Like there was something like about the dream world, like where some scientists like had some like some clients, or some people they use for study the dream world, and all of them were like obsessed, or like all of them studied some type of shadow figure, some type of dark figure that appears in every dream, every most often every nightmare of a dream, you know, often the darker side of a dream. And this dark figure nearly pops up in every person's nightmares, to say, in this film. And I didn't watch the whole movie, to be honest. I watched CC movie, but this was enough. Like CC movie is like recap, you know. It's like all the whole film in its meaning and symbolism shortened down to simple sentence that you will understand what this film means, or what actions are happening there. Like, you know what I mean? Like the movie recaps are right here, that shorten down length the movies and giving you the informations entertainingly to you, without like so much action, you know. But I recognized in this movie occult symbolism, like when this particular woman who has these nightmares dreamt about entering into this shadow world, into this dark world. I came to recognize like these visuals that they're using in this movie, visuals that we as magicians use to enter into like astral sphere, astral plane, where we as more darker magicians are getting contact with demonic beings, you know. I get in contact with demonic beings where we like visualize their features, visualize their appearance and their presence, and make something happen on this astral plane with this being, and then let it go, you know. And this, like, you will see like a opening, a dark sphere, a dark hole. This represents on this Kabbalistic tree trough. Like trough is not really as its own sephira and its own klifa. There's something in between. It's like a gateway, literally a gateway. Is the sphere of trough on the Kabbalistic tree of life. And this dark gateway was also represented in this movie as this entering into this shadow world. You know, literally, like when you are entering trough in this Kabbalistic tree initiatory, you will be transgressed into the clipot, into the demonic sphere, you know. And literally, when these scenes of the films, like they are purposefully orchestrated these scenes to with different occult symbolism, like the hanged man, like stairs, like the black hole, like hands, fingers, connectiveness, and darkness and death. Because all of this, because all of this has been programmed onto our collective unconsciousness, subconsciousness, with meaning, with power. And it, like, all of them, if you believe it or not, have a powerful influence on you, powerful influence on the surroundings because of that. And they have purposefully orchestrated this scenery that is like a domino effect, opens literally a gateway onto this world we live in, literally. And it just needs to happen, like some type of more a spiritual person, more type of evolved person in the arts of spirituality, arts of magic, art of sorcery, observe this shit that is getting more empowered, more powerful. Like, I observe this shit. And literally, when this gateway in this film opens up, literally when this shadowy figure, this shadow, these demons, looked up in this movie, in this exact moment, outside of myself, like outside of my house, where a tunnel, like, a tunnel happening. And did you know, like when a thunder happens, there must somewhere be a thunderbolt or thunder strike, you know? And what represents this lightning bolt? Just think what represents this lightning bolt. When you have initiated into this Kabbalistic tree of life, when you're following every sephira, when you are following every sephira to it, like there is Malkut, is the 10 sephira, and there is Keter, the higher sephira. If you are familiar with this Kabbalistic structure, you know the visual, how it looks like, you know. And when you like initiate yourself per tradition upwards to each sephira under the top, it literally looks like a thunderbolt, you know. It literally looks like a thunderbolt if you initiate in this Kabbalistic tree completely. But what happens when a thunderbolt strikes down? And per tradition, initiation of Kabbalah, it means when a lightning bolt strikes down, like all the 10 sephiras, all the 10 spheres where you develop spiritually, all these energies that you've been through initiation are getting combined in the sky, and like a lightning strike manifests upon Malkut, the first sphere. Like it goes right back down like a lightning strike upon the last sphere. And this means like all the spiritual energies that you've been going through, that you've been cultivating, will be get realized or manifested on a physical plane of reality. I know like I'm not sure if you are following me or you understand me. Like you need basic Kabbalistic understanding for it, but that basic means because if I watching this movie because I have the Kabbalistic understanding to some extent, that means that what this movie wants to portray like is like some darker beings getting entrance into the real world and thus transforming it conduits the dreamer into some other type of dark being because she became at the end of the movie a vampire, and this dark being was like her initiator. And this for me represents like, first of all, this dark being has gone through initiation per observance by us people, and second of all, when we as a dreamer have realized the so-called dream, realized the so-called initiation with this dark being, we become ourselves this dark being, and this will manifest into the real world, so to say. Because like this movie wants to portray in a real occult manner the manifestation of the shadow world, of darkness, of self-transformation to darkness in a darker being that becomes literally real. And to some level, this has happened right now, you know. And I just want to tell you this because nothing is really a coincidence. And I honestly this like you must pretty much study hard all this stuff and experience on their own basis that you understand the correlation between the spiritual world and the material world and how they play together as like as the formula for magic, as the formula of manifestation, so to say. And yeah, like I think this was it, man. Movies are magic, especially good produced ones, especially if they have to do with the unconscious, subconscious, and with archetypical symbolism. And you must also be observe the movies, what agenda they follow, you know. And you must also be conscious, like because so many people observe these movies, the movies getting power, getting archetypical power over the time, and thus are effect on reality, you know. And yeah, I ended there, guys. Lux Anguis out.